I was in prison down in Louisiana. I got busted with 2 joints. Got sentenced to 5 years at hard labor in Louisiana State Penitentiary at Angola. Yeah, that was in the early '60s.
Yeah, I just
And
told the story
5
yesterday
years.
about that
And
Leon
that-
being in jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But back then that was a light sentence. There were guys that
That was a light sentence?
Oh yeah, there was a guy, a friend of mine had 15 years for 1 joint.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
Didn't we have this conversation yesterday
This is
in
in the
class?
60s?
Were you there?
Yeah.
And when I talked
This is in the
about
60s?
black folks got locked up back in the day for little or nothing, they asked me how come Leon Collins, Teddy Hale was doing Begin to Begin, and it was Leon's dance. They were in jail together. Teddy got out first, plain and simple. He was
Wow.
doing Begin to Begin. And then they said, well, what was he in jail for? I don't remember. It was something trivial, I'm sure, because it didn't take very much for black men to get locked up during that period of time. That was just the way that it was. So go ahead. So
Okay,
now,
so there's the prison rodeo is known all over the world. It's a world class rodeo. Cats come from all cowboys come from everywhere to ride the rodeo. Some of the features of the rodeo are like the prison band and other things that the prisoners do. There was this one old man. I don't know how long he had been there. But the warden, everybody, all of the free folks knew him, and they'd call for him, and he'd come out carrying a big piece of wood, a plank, and he'd get out there in the dust barefoot, throw that plank down, and get on it and start doing what he called the buck jump and the buck and wing. And so he learned it from his father, and he learned it from somebody else before him that was a slave dance, and that's why they called it a buck dance,
because they relegated to the slaves.
Yeah, but it wasn't like I've seen that step that they call a buck. I mean, it wasn't like that. He did do some things with his own, but he did a lot of different stuff.
What was his name?
What was his name? I don't know. 60. They called him 60. He had 60 years.
Oh, no.